Please let me in. Are you my mummy?
While arguing over their next destination, the TARDIS falls into a Contron tunnel. This pulls the Sixth Doctor and Perry through the tunnel where the TARDIS is almost destroyed, but luckily stabilises before it lands on the planet Carfel. Carfel, however, is not well. It is ruled by a powerful and rigid hierarchy, and at the top is the horrible Borad. The Doctor knows things are not right and decides to help out this planet, which he has visited before, but the Borad wants him to go into the deadly Timelash as he has Perry hostage. What will the Doctor do? Is this story as bad as people say? Let's find out as we discuss Timelash, which aired from the 9th to the 16th of March 1985 and was written by Glenn McCoy and directed by Pennant Roberts. Yeah. Hello, and welcome to this very painful podcast review of Timelash. And yeah, Sorry, I've got a window open here. There's a bad gale coming in. There we go. There we go, Conrad. Who needs a sound effect system when you got a Conrad?
One man sound effect.
Yeah. So we're doing this one mainly because it was requested by Henry Dude Star over and over. I think like twice maybe.
Well, that's not over and over then.
Well, it's over once, so it makes it twice.
Really?
Well, maybe it was 3 times, but I could go back and count, but I'm not going to because we started recording. So yes,
we did.
Have we? What? So Timelash. This story, which is often called bad,
I wouldn't even consider it a story. It's a thing.
Is often said as one of the worst in Doctor Who history. Is that true? Short answer: yes.
Yeah.
Long answer: this podcast.
Yeah.
So it starts with the Doctor and Perry kind of arguing.
Yeah, as they do.
And that is like slightly enjoyable. I mean, I enjoy Colin Baker. It's kind of one good thing in this story is Colin Baker and like the amount of effort he puts in. That's about it.
Yeah.
Like I love the bit where he's like bad and then like shouts bad. Like he puts his full energy into it, and I really do like that.
He does very much so. Like he's one of the, I'd say one of the few like kind of redeeming factors is he does try. He tries where pretty much everybody else doesn't. Pretty much.
Oh my god, where to even start?
Well,
with the band.
I guess we just talk about the scene in TARDIS a little bit because that was. I mean, it's already kind of a very much long-winded.
Oh my god, everything is so long-winded. Every scene is long-winded. You could make this into a 1-part story. You could make this into 145 minutes and it would work.
You could explain it in like a few seconds.
You could do it in
Doctor
about
lands
half
on
an hour.
planet, guy, evil, Doctor gets thing, goes back,
oh my
beat
god,
bad guy.
Yeah, my god. Oh, so, but the thing is, it keeps cutting between the two. Like they don't even enter the time tunnel yet.
Yeah,
like I'm reading both the wiki page and the Wikipedia page about it, and they both don't do it in the order that it actually shows. The cuts are awful.
Yeah,
they're so bad.
The Doctor, I mean, in part 1 especially, the Doctor and Perry take ages to get to the planet. So like we see them cut back and forth between this kind of tedious, we're fixing something I guess in the TARDIS, to the planet surface where nobody looks interested. It's very kind of disinterested.
It's so bad.
It really is. One positive thing is that the planet surface, when they cut to the model work, is okay.
Yeah.
Same with the spaceship. Actually, the model work stuff is okay. The set itself,
except the aliens. What are the aliens called again?
The set itself and most of the design aspects of the story I really don't like. The model works. The model works okay.
The Bandrill.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, Conrad. Well, that's not very nice.
I'm threatening. Pay attention to me.
It's so bad. It's so bad. But anyway, the first death that they push into the time lash is so funny. Like, it gives such a weak It's like, But it's so funny.
They don't even die, though.
Well, he gets thrown through the time lash to, it's basically Weeping Angels kind of thing. They get thrown to a place they don't even know, and they live out their life there.
But why didn't the Doctor go out and save those guys?
Because the Doctor sucks.
But like,
because Conrad, they read it in a book. They read it in a book, and now it's happened because they read it in a book.
But they didn't read it in a book.
Well, the Doctor has a book, and he read it, so they cannot change history because it was said so in a book. Bad story affecting a bad story.
Yeah. Well, the sets themselves are pretty lame. Like,
lame.
I guess that kind of ties into the plot. Actually, that's one thing, is that they kind of use that whole, like, kind of lame set and such as a plot point, which I thought was a little clever, but at the same time, I'd be rather looking at something more... Like,
the most interesting scene bit is when they're in the Borad room. That is the most interesting scene.
Well, and I think when they go back in time, when they go to the shack, I guess, is kind of a little bit different, I guess, maybe.
Yeah.
But, the sets are lame. The actors, like, all the guest actors just don't care.
The main thing is when they enter the tunnel, and then they have that really bad tunnel effect. It's so funny where their voices go crazy.
Oh, yeah. The weird... It was
basically Guardians of the Galaxy 2, but they tried to do it seriously.
Yeah, that was... Yeah, the effect on that was really bad. I'd say the time lapse itself is literally basically just like like foil with a really, really weak, high-pitched sound effect.
Yeah.
Like,
the cool thing is the lights that go through the wall behind it. I mean, that was kind of cool when it, like, started up, like, the lights behind the white walls started going, so it gave some colour. That was the most interesting times.
That's a read.
It's awful. So, yeah, they kill people. The person at the top is the Borad, who people never see, but they just see an old guy.
On the screen.
And people are forced out of fear. The androids. Let's start with the singing androids. The blue androids that sing. What the fuck?
What was the purpose of them, other than just being
But
moods?
why singing? Seriously. It's like if I did this entire review singing. It would be awful. It would just get annoying. Even if they sung well, it would have got annoying.
They took tips from 10th Planet.
Yeah, but 10th Planet, they don't even really sing.
They kind of do.
Nah.
What was
like
that?
That's how they sing. They sing kind of like a weird kind of...
Well, then our thumbnail's a lie, then.
Yeah, I know. Well, we lie. First rule of Isoharmony, we lie. And we stick to that being the first rule.
That's not very good for a YouTube channel.
About reviewing. Yeah, Timelash turns out to be the best.
Don't take our opinions as fact. All the stories we said were bad are good, and all the stories we say were good were bad.
Yeah.
We might be lying about that as well.
Yeah, we lie.
There's a fight scene with like the rebels and such, and it's like pathetic.
Oh,
like,
and then where they split up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like they decide to split up, and the guy's like, "Oh, I don't know. Okay, I'll just go this way."
Possibly one of the weakest like fight scenes I've seen in the entire series.
Everything is weak.
Yeah, everything is just so sub.
It's hard to even follow the plot because, like,
you can kind of do it. You can do it.
But there's so many just boring scenes where they're talking about power and I want to be in charge. The death ray's pretty decent where they turn into old. So it was good.
There was no point to it.
But I mean, just as an artistic way, like, it's scary, like, as it turns into a skull. But the way the skeleton falls down in the first death is so hilarious.
No, you can tell they're plastic. So
I know.
On both times, they're just
after. But when it's doing the change effect between the face and then morphing into the skull, that's kind of creepy. But as soon as a skeleton falls, it is so funny. Skeletons don't hold together as they fall, No. They fall to pieces because there's nothing holding the bones together. It's
plastic, and it's, like, so tacky. It really is.
It is, yeah.
And, like, the plot itself isn't interesting, and they got this whole thing about this leader guy and don't get my daughter involved and such. And like at first thing off, like when they're in that room, he said, "Well, we've got to put these amulets in simultaneously in order to do this power thing."
Yeah,
he doesn't put them in simultaneously.
Yeah, it's so bad. It's so bad.
It's like Ahsoka's after he says that. The power room thing is never brought up again. I assume that was going to be like tie into something later, or maybe
like
it needs to destroy or something. That room is literally never seen again. It is entirely pointless, like that entire thing. And then the leader guy gets taken out of there, and then they play back a clip of him basically rejecting what he said. Don't get me involved. I'm elsewhere. Like, and then they kill him anyway for being a traitor. It's like that wasn't really being traitorous if he's rejecting it. I mean,
it's bad.
That makes no sense. Oh, I'm just gonna kill you because implied, like, and he seemed fairly loyal. He was doing his job. Like, what?
But yeah, it's
and then like they bring him in for the daughter, and like they tried to play up this whole your father he had a stroke, despite the fact that his like her fiance's like being captured as well. So it's like, well, how are you going to pull that if both of the things are happening at once? How are you on earth are you going to think to point out the fact that it could just be a coincidence? And you know. Duh! I mean, if the other guy's been captured, then you'd assume that the other guy's been killed by them.
Yeah.
It's like, how did you think that they were gonna?
Yeah, one interesting thing though is that the Doctor's been here before. That's the one interesting point.
It was badly done because
it's so badly done.
It's like they really make it feel like
it tried to be this cool epic thing, but it turned out to be shy.
It feels like we missed out on something. Like they keep it's so annoying when they keep referring to an event that like we never see, we don't get much context about, and like all the times they bring up the previous time, it's just like an expedition. It's like we're watching a sequel to an episode which never aired, and it's like. You know, even if it had aired, like if it was during the John Pertwee era, who's going to remember that anyway? But like, you know, they do such a poor job of like they kind of vaguely talk about things that happened then, but like it was like really a poor idea to try and tie it all in. It's really weird
when what is it? Is it Malin who has the amulet? She has the little necklace and it has Joe in it. Why would the Doctor give that to her? Like a necklace with Joe in. What? Fucking point.
Maybe
would you
really like Joe?
Well, that yeah, but she never. No, but she never met Joe. It was like given to the I know. It was weird.
Joe was there.
Yeah, I know Joe was there, but like that woman wasn't there because it was
no, but I mean the grandfather.
Yeah, it was like grandmother. I don't know. It's weird as hell. Why would you do that? It's like if I gave you a necklace of one of my best friends who you've never met in my life before. Well, just to be nice.
No, she probably did meet Joe,
I'd give a necklace. Well, yeah, even if you did, it's still kind of weird. You meet someone once. Even if you met one of my best friends once that you never met before, I give you a necklace with their picture in. That's a bit weird. There's no other answer but yes, that is a bit weird.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, that is just weird.
But yeah, no, it was. I think it was a really like. It's kind of interesting, like when you get kind of hints that the Doctor's done stuff before, but to have such a thing so integral to the plot, and the fact that they never show like any of this, like it's like the Doctor, and like at points it's even more frustrating when the Doctor's like, you know, this is a thing, but I'm going to explain it some other time to you. And,
yeah, he does that a few times, doesn't he?
Yeah. And like, you know, why do we care about the villain's motivation if, you know, everything that happened was off screen? Like, why do we care? Like, all the developments already happened. And it was such a false line, like the whole, you remember me, right? The guy who you talked to the guide in order to...
And they're all at the same. It's so hard to keep up.
It was so forced. It was such a forced dialogue bit. It was just like... Why? Just why? You already made this episode living convoluted. The only thing that helps with is the kind of introduction bit. We can kind of entirely skip out the introductions. You know, that's fine. Okay, they already know who he is. Fine. Okay, I can kind of accept that. But they just did everything else in terms of that so poorly that it was like, you shouldn't have bothered. Just focus on making this story good, as opposed to trying to make this big lore, like, expanded thing when Doctor's...
Yeah, it's bad.
It's really, really bad.
But yeah, they don't permit mirrors, and anyway, yeah, so,
Well, that makes sense.
yeah, it makes sense to the thing. But, yeah, because she takes the amulet through the Timelash with herself, because she accidentally falls into it, which is...
But she didn't accidentally fall into it.
It says...
No, she kind of ran into it just to avoid, like, getting captured, wasn't it?
On Wikipedia it says she accidentally fell, which makes it even worse.
Well, it was every day. No, she went into there on purpose.
Let's see what the other one says.
No, it was on purpose.
No, on both it says accidental.
I don't think so.
Even if it's... Well, if it looks like it's supposed to be on purpose and she accidentally fell into it, then it's even worse. But yeah, so...
I mean, but it's... You know,
then they're like explaining that Perry's been taken hostage because they want the Doctor to venture
we
into
kind
the
of skip
Timelash.
forward a bit. Because, like, before that, actually, before any of this happens, the girl flies through the TARDIS and stuff before they land. And
the Doctor looks up and she's like, did you see that? And it's like,
she,
it's just disappeared now.
And then she lands back in... He goes to Scotland.
1885. No, that's when he takes Perry. To protect Perry, the Doctor returns the TARDIS into the Timelash and travels. Because, like, they go...
No, that happens after, because they land, and then they start to set up the thing with the girl and Herbert.
Yeah, no, but Tekka explains that Perry has been taken hostage.
Not at that point.
Yeah, no, it has, because then she is taken to the caves where the large lizards, and then she's saved by the...
she isn't until after, because they sit in the room for ages, and then he decides to take her on a tour, and then at some point... No, but that's later. That's later.
It's on here.
No, but as you said, that's kind of out of order. I watched it only yesterday, Nick. Don't listen to that. That was later.
It's so hard to remember because it's so same roomy. It's so same roomy room.
But they try to condense on these things. They try to condense it to a plot that makes sense. But it you know, the way it actually happens is that basically they start to set up the thing with her and Herbert, like, kind of in the shack, and the Doctor lands after that, and then they go through this whole, like, thing about...
I like that scene. One other thing I like about this story is Herbert. I kind of enjoy him a bit.
He's so annoying.
He's like...
He's frustrating. Like,
he's enough for Adric. I just see Adric when I see him.
He just kind of dives here and forces his way into places and...
Yeah.
You know, the only good thing about that whole
he tries
thing...
to hit the Doctor with the book. I kind of chuckled.
The only good thing that came out of that is the Doctor shouting at him, which was a good payoff to it all. But at the same time, like...
Do we really want to sit through all that?
This really frustrating character, you know, it ultimately becomes very disrespectful, but we'll get into that in the end, the twist with that. But, you know... It's frustrating. I really hate Herbert. Like, all the time he's on screen, he's just annoying and doing things. And, ugh. I
quite like the Scotland 1885 set though. It was quite nice. It
was still very cheap.
Thing,
like it was like cheap. It's like a painting out the window and like a
the outside was bad. The inside was okay.
Yeah, I guess.
But yeah. I quite like the bit where he tried to hit the Doctor with the book and the Doctor kind of just moved, but then it's like Herbert kind of like knocks himself out during that point because he just kind of stops trying after he misses the Doctor once. But yeah. So,
oh gosh, actually, sorry, another hilarious moment. Actually, this is way back. I'm sorry, cutting back a bit, but when the TARDIS is landing, like going through this thing. They kind of attach themselves to the TARDIS with bungee ropes.
That was the bit where the really bad corridor effect when they were doing that.
Yeah, no, I mean it happened a bit earlier, but like bungee ropes. That just looks so silly. And like again, the Doctor doesn't do anything till like basically the end of the. And the Doctor as a whole just doesn't do anything till like the end of that episode where he's sent back. But like, yeah, the Doctor's way too trusting of this leader guy. If like, you know, immediately right off the bat. Like I know he knows the planet, but you know, like he's not even like suspicious of like the cameras and such for a bit, and like the technology. Like, yeah, because you mentioned like the whole, the technology here is too advanced for what time, and yet it doesn't really like. I mean, that's what he wants to ask the guy who takes over, but he takes ages. Well, I mean, he doesn't. I mean, the guy keeps running away before answering the question, but you would have thought he'd be more suspicious.
Yeah, but I mean, the reason why the Doctor goes back to get the girl is because he wants the amulet which she took with her.
Yes,
They do say that Perry's been captured.
Yeah,
but she actually has escaped in the cave.
That happens. But that happens after while the doctor's
simultaneously.
in the middle of being talking to the guy about like the things.
It's simultaneous.
She's taken off to a tour, and then like she kind of runs off a bit,
and then she goes to the cave, and the lizards attack her. But then the other ones come.
It's a really awful effect.
And then that patrol guard appeared and catches on fire.
Oh yeah, just randomly.
Which is the one from later on in part 2, which gets sent back in time. It's a really weird connection, but that's what it is.
One funny thing, it's just like when she's about to be captured. Well, when like they send a guy with like a chain thing that slowly trundles towards her.
Oh, it was really.
And like she just kind of stands there, screams, shouts back for the doctor, and just puts plant points out, just running. Like this guy is not walking anywhere. Like you could basically crawl out. Like
when she was chained up, it was a bit sexual. It was a bit.
I mean, we meet these rebel people who actually wasn't the girl in the rebel thing already killed though at the beginning. I was confused about because they killed like a rebel girl. I think they aced her to death, but then suddenly, basically, I think the same actress is like back in the rebel thing for that. So I was confused. I like what? Wouldn't she killed? Like how was she?
Yeah,
what?
they look. I think they're probably different, but they just look the same. I don't know. That's the problem with their costumes. They were very all the same.
They were entirely the same. No, but there were only 3 of them, and they were kind of running through the base before the.
God, I don't know. Conrad. I've lost the word.
And you know the freaking dragon thingy. Like that was like the worst. Like I could point out examples in like even in 60s Doctor Who, it looks significantly better than like that thing, which is kind of moving his head back and forth. Like, that's not threatening. It's just like, Perry stands there shrieking in a corner while this dragon thing just kind of waves its head back and forth.
Oh, shake my hair back, shake my hair back and forth.
It's like, and it doesn't react to anything. It's just literally basically a thing on the string, and it's like, come on, guys, really? Couldn't think of anything better than that? Heck, the freaking dinosaurs from Invasion of the Dinosaurs look better than that. Yeah. Like, but be more animated and stuff. That's just bad. Like, really, really bad. And then she gets saved by the rebel group, who are suspicious of her. And the guy was just, and like, but this guy's just like, and when they get captured, the guy's like, I wonder why. And then, like, immediately after, they never bring it up again. Like, he's never suspicious with them again.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that, well, they got captured when she was
there, yeah. Like she was a trap. But yeah, so then Herbert sneaks into the TARDIS, which is so stupid.
He keeps doing that, like, what?
He manages like twice.
The door isn't very big, how does he keep doing that?
Yeah, it's like, surely you'd hear it. Like, have like, you know, like in the shops where it's like, you know, someone walks in.
He found the same back entrance that Stephen found.
Yeah. Oh my god.
But, ugh.
Yeah. But yeah, and the cliffhanger sucks. The Doctor just slowly getting pushed towards the Timelash.
Yeah.
Oh, by this singing android.
So I have to say, who was the second guy who was the leader? It was the kind of evil, smug guy. He's so mediocre. Like, as far as villains go, like...
Was it Tekka?
Yeah. Well, no, he was...
Mycross?
No, Tekka was the main guy, I think.
Tekka was the guy, yeah.
Main guy, not the leader. He was the guy with the girl. He was the fiancé of the girl.
No, on here it says Tekka with an opportunity to try and retrieve the amulet. I think Tekka's the bad guy.
I didn't think so. Because,
no,
I think he is. No, never mind. Yeah, he is.
Tekka,
never mind, he is. Yeah. He is.
They just I hate...
Oh, also...
This is one thing I don't like about classic Doctor Who, is they all have such weird names that, like, it's hard to even remember.
Also, I have to say, the freaking ambassador from the other plays, like that's such a stupid design. Like it's basically a snake with like
their voices,
and the voices are bad. And like, how would you expect to like build like war weapons and such if they're basically snakes with no arms? How do you do it?
They use their heads to like bash their heads against stuff. Oh, this is going to be a masterful weapon of destruction.
And
Okay,
like, you know, they bring up this whole we're starving thing, and yet they never, again, that's another thing that they didn't ever bring up again. I mean, barely see those guys. Like, I was half expecting the Doctor to go to their planet or something, or see them, or have some relevance. No. But they're basically, no.
Because all they see is a person with a sock puppet.
There is no relevance to anything. Literally no relevance to anything.
So yeah.
Also, hang on. A few other things.
We're finished with part 1, really.
I got
I hope we are, because it's giving me a headache talking about this. Thanks.
Oh, yeah, of course. When the Doctor, just before the Doctor's sent into the Timelash, basically...
Oh yeah, they thought they'd give back Perry.
Yes!
It's like, why did you think they'd give back Perry?
Idiot.
You idiot, you fucking retard.
Like,
fucking moron.
Do you think that guy looks trustworthy?
You freaking frick. You're ruining Doctor Who.
You must know that your actions have consequences!
Yeah. Oh my god.
All I want is a modern day classic Doctor Who story!
Oh, it hurt that moment where like you expected to get him back. Like, are you freaking retarded?
Yeah, and like everybody else was like... Actually, that's another thing. Perry is barely brought out of the caves, like, very, very slowly. And yeah, everybody else
so quickly.
Yeah, are already taken and captured in the room. And like Perry despite being captured alongside everyone else, is just like very slowly taken out. I guess that one guy that caught her got lost somewhere. Something.
It's so bad. But anyway, yeah.
Episode 2. So
the Timelash scene in the chamber, the time corridor.
First off, the mirror. How did he know he'd need a mirror?
Oh yeah,
and secondly,
so
how on earth did he know he'd need that? And secondly, why are the androids affected? I thought it was only the
Borad. Yeah,
the Borad that was affected. Why did the android why were they affected? Why would an android be affected by a mirror? Like, what?
I don't know.
It's so stupid.
I literally, on both Wikipedia, it's just they fight back because they can't explain it.
And then after that, like the leader guy, Tekka, basically just walks out. Like, and despite them having the upper hand, the girl is just like, huh? Before reacting to him, she's like, it just so slowly reacts to it. It's like. She was just in the daydream or something, and she's just like, oh, he got out.
It's so bad.
Casually walked out the door.
But yeah.
And you know.
So yeah, then they get roped from somewhere.
Yeah.
And then they go into the crystal.
Why did they even go for the crystals? I don't even remember.
Because he needed it to make that 10-second thing.
How did he know to do that?
Because he's smart and he's the Doctor.
But that kind of came out of nowhere. He didn't get the idea from anywhere or anything. He just spontaneously decides to jump into this thing.
It's like, I don't want to go in it, but when I got a rope, different story.
And it's also such a lazy piece of set because it's just the wall, basically.
It is so bad.
And like the intense scene with him about to drop is not intense.
It wouldn't be too bad if it was like a 2-minute scene. No,
it takes ages.
This is like about a 7-minute scene. I'd like at least 5. And my god, it is so boring. And like Colin Baker, you can see he's putting his heart and soul into it. But no, but the funniest thing, so they're all holding onto him on a rope, okay? And they're like, oh no, it's too heavy. So what does Herbert do? He lets go of the rope and starts to climb down it, adding more weight onto it.
And same thing with the other guy.
And same with the other guy.
It was stupid. How
it makes no sense.
It makes absolutely
if you're struggling to lift one person, you don't let someone go and climb down the rope.
Dude, that's gonna help. Definitely.
It was so stupid. It was so stupid.
Very stupid.
Like what? If you're struggling to hold one person up.
Also, how do even the time lashes work? Because like with everyone else when they put into the time lashes, it just kind of floated away. Like it just kind of floated through time. how does having a rope there, first off, stop that? And second off, what determines whether or not you're being flung out as opposed to climbing down slowly? How do you kind of climb down a time thing that sends you straight into the vortex? How does that work? How does that work at all? And why are there crystals in the time vortex? How are there crystals in the time? The time vortex isn't even a physical thing.
It's like jam. But not jam, like, because jam is made of strawberries. And the doctor was like, well, it's not made of strawberries. Funny. But no. And that scene goes on for so long.
The wall itself actually just looks like a piece of kids' craft.
It literally does. It's so bad. It's hilarious.
It really is. And like the music has
so bad.
like, despite the doctor about to be falling off and such, the music has zero intensity. Like zero.
It's so boring. It is so boring. Like if I was gonna torture someone, I'd show them that scene on repeat.
Yeah.
I'd just show them the entire episode. I'd get my information I needed pretty quickly.
Yep.
Oh my god, it's so bad.
And then the Doctor...
Perry, I think, only has like 20 lines this episode, because she does the rest of it screaming.
Basically, yeah.
I feel really sorry for Nicola Bryant. She's good talent, and they literally just made her freaking scream.
At least she gets better moments in other episodes.
Yeah, because this is
But, like,
painful.
yeah, then this is bad. And, like, when they pulled the Doctor out, they were just like, well done, well done, well done, indeed, well done.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
It's like,
oh, yeah. Well done, yeah, we pulled the Doctor out of the thing.
oh my god, it's so cringy bad.
You know, and that's another thing. Is that, I mean, just the episode as a whole, they never explain much about the Morlaxes and about how the planet in general, like, works. Like, because they got a weird, like, connection to the underground thing, where the Morlax things are, and, like, you never explain how the planet works. Again, it feels like there should have been another episode with the Third Doctor to explain all this. Because, like, they never set anything up. The planet just is. Like, they just expect you to know it, despite the fact that
It's a small colony, and
there's nothing to know about it.
What's funny is when they the band drills, the way they start the war with them is they're basically like, you smell. And like,
Basically.
oh, that's not nice. No, we're gonna come and declare war. That's basically the entire thing.
Pretty much.
It's so childish. It's like, do you like me? No, not anymore. Oh, well, that's war. But yeah.
They kill you for that.
So little happens in this episode either. Like, literally, it goes to Tekka and Kendrom, and Tekka's like, oh, this guy's a traitor. And the Borrad's like, okay, let's kill him. And,
Borrad in general, actually, throughout the first few bits of the episode, you could almost be mistaken for thinking, like, it's so similar to the Master and Keeper of Traken. It's, like, identical. It's like, Doctor, we should soon be... It's, like, pretty much exactly the Master and Keeper of Traken. Like, it's down to them looking out the thing and being somebody else.
Maybe Glenn just watched this. Watched Keeper of Traken. It was like, yeah, I got a good idea for a story.
I can take that and do something with it.
Maybe. But let me just get another classic story like the Dominators, and let's put everything which people love about the politics in that, and let's just throw that in.
Yeah.
And everybody loved the Drashigs, so let's put the Drashigs in. But just change them a bit. Who wants deep voiced monsters? Let's have some high voiced monsters.
Yeah, that's scarier.
Oh, that's it. Like, Hugh
Alvin and Cherry were the scariest monster.
Hugh looked at that and went, oh, yeah, that's the perfect voice for these creatures. Hugh. Seriously. Like, are you even trying anymore?
Apparently
but yeah, so...
Oh, yeah, the Doctor's brought in. No, sorry, I'll let you actually go in.
Well, I was so Perry's placed in the cave and she's strapped up.
Oh, yeah.
Like, hands above her head is a bit kind of
it's so intense
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
And the monster just kind of swings its again.
Muscazine 80. I love how everything in, like, the Colin Baker era always has to have a weird name and then, like, a number added to the end.
Well, I have to say...
It's quite a common trend.
Yeah.
Muscazine 80 or, you know, something else. I'll point it out when it comes up next. But, like, yeah, they usually have, like... Yeah.
The doctor is brought into the room, and the Borad basically explains like his exact intentions while Tekar's there.
Yeah.
And because Tekar doesn't agree with it, he kills him for it. Like, what did you think was going to happen? This guy was extremely loyal to you. Like, why the heck would you basically say that he's going to betray him right out in the open and then kill?
The Borad got distracted. You see,
makes so sense.
He was looking at the doctor. He got so distracted he forgot his plan. And he turned because he was like, oh crap! I thought you'd left the room. You're in my blind spot. Oh crap!
It's about the Tekar not long before. Despite the Tekar not long before, telling the doctor that he should be more respectful of the Borad.
I know, but yeah, the Borad was like, oh crap! I thought you'd left the room. You're in my blind spot because I got the little kind of weird.
Well, you die now.
Crap, well I can't really let you live now. Sorry, dude. That's basically what happened. He got so carried away, he just forgot, and he was in his blind spot.
Tekar really served very little purpose, like in the overall thing.
Yes, he did. He was the boring person.
Other than to bring the doctor places, I guess.
Yeah.
But like, it's like...
So the Borad has a massive boner for Perry, and wishes to mutate her.
Yeah.
So she looks like him.
And they can do some stuff.
They can shake their heads together back and forth in the caves. Because, that's a common trend. Everybody just likes Perry. Everybody just wants to marry Perry.
Yep.
And she screams.
Yep.
So, please love me, Perry. She's like, no, you're ugly. And he's like, Perry, please. Please.
Why doesn't Perry Senpai notice me?
And then the banjo was like, oh, Perry, come join us. Oh my god. Yeah, so and what did Herbert even do? He literally crawled up. He just watched above. He literally didn't do anything to the scene. And then I thought he was going to save the day or something. He was going to save the doctor, but literally nothing. He literally just sits up there and watches.
I guess for inspiration for the plot twist later. Again, we'll get on to that because I have a lot to say about that. But the way they defeat him there is like...
Oh, well, the stupid crystal use earlier, where he pushes the two.
Yeah.
And they're like, what happened? And then we see the doctor doing it. It's just so cringy. Colin Baker just doing this push thing. into the air and then walking to where he was.
Yeah. But that whole thing with the laser and the Borad, like, it's like... Well, I know he comes out later, which is kind of stupid, but like, to stop him even temporarily, that's a very stupid way of doing it.
Look, if you fire this at me, it's going to kill you. Well, I don't believe you. Well, you're lost. Well, I still don't believe you. Why would you risk that, man?
And then he starts screaming the moment, like, because he doesn't believe him, and like, it hits the crystal, and then like, for some reason he starts screaming for reasons, despite the fact that no laser's been fired at him.
Right. I might as well just move my chair.
No, but he doesn't know that, because nothing's fired. Nothing is fired. He just starts screaming. Nothing's happened. He hits him, the crystal, and then he just starts screaming.
Well, pain.
No,
he realised how bad the story was.
The laser hadn't fired at that point.
Well, yeah, I don't get why he just didn't move his chair either. I think he was screaming because the doctor was still alive, and he was like, shit. But he could have just moved his chair. His chair could move. He was like a Davros Mark II.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And like,
so
why is that actually? That's another question. It's on the ship, right? This entire episode is based in, isn't it?
It's on a planet, but like on like a little.
Oh yeah, it is on like a little thing on the planet.
Kind of ship which has landed. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's. Why is there connections to the caves if this is like a ship?
Because it's landed. The ship's landed on the caves, and they've obviously dug through. Well, yeah. I mean, it's not thought out. I don't know. I still don't know, to be honest. You could ask. I don't know why you're asking me, because I know less about this than you do. It's in me. Yeah. I've put it in the back of my mind, and it's locked away where I can't. It's like the War Doctor. Also, this is my War Doctor. It's locked away. It didn't happen.
In the back.
It went from the two Doctors, and it jumped to Revelation.
Yeah.
No one would know. No one would know.
Another thing. Perry's unlocked by the Doctor in there, and so is the monster. I can't remember the blue names, but basically Perry just kind of stands there. She's unlocked. She can run at any moment, but she just stands there, and she does that. This is the second time it happens. She just decides not to run and just stand there and scream. It's like, please. In fact, early in the episode, the guy was commenting about how she can kind of handle herself and all that. Yeah, everything throughout the episode shows to the contrary of that. Like, it's pathetic. It's really pathetic.
So anyway, they save the day.
Well, actually, firstly, Herbert comes in to save Perry.
Oh yeah.
Which is again stupid considering she's
from the Morlocks.
She's much more capable than he is.
They return to the council chamber,
and it's just like, and then they do the whole they return.
The Banjo fleet's coming, and they're like, "Hey, look, we stopped the day. You don't need to invade." It's like, "Can we see the Borad?" It's like, "No, he's dead." Well, sorry, we're still gonna kill you then, boy.
Boy.
And then there's this pretty powerful scene where the Doctor. This is where it could have been a slight good thing. Okay, so the Doctor's going to self-sacrifice himself, and Perry comes in. And then he tells her to leave.
That scene takes too long.
Herbert comes in.
Yeah.
But even that's not too bad. But the length of time it goes on for, the amount of time it goes on for, this goes on for 9 minutes. This heroicness. It should have been quick, we don't have any time. Perry, get out. Fly the TARDIS, parting of the ways kind of shit going on.
Plus, it's predictable because I come back to the base after the things exploded, and everybody's doing this whole emotional, oh, he's dead kind of thing that you've seen a billion times, and it's
yeah.
What? There's no reason to think that he is dead. Zero reason. There's no point to it. There's zero point to having all that tension and such. It's and the people, the enemy is just oh, we saw his courage and we'll apologise to the High Council and stuff, and we won't fight you. But it's well, if you're at war, you're at war. Fire another blooming missile, you idiots.
And then the
how do you go to believe them?
The Borad appears again.
Yes, for arbitrary, stupid reasons.
I learned how to regenerate myself.
Oh, and then throughout the episode there is no meaning for anything. But then it takes a really uncomfortably mean final message. Oh, you're hideous. No one will ever love you. That's kind of harsh. That's harsh. That's really blooming harsh. That's a really bad message to tell people. Oh, this person's hideous. They must die because they're awful and they'll never be loved by anyone. It's
and he'll become a Loch Ness monster.
It's the complete opposite of Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, basically.
It's horrible. It's a horrible message, to be honest with you. It's just unpleasant. And the Doctor's shouting at him for that. It just becomes
mean,
really, really mean-spirited, and really just bad. I get it. The reason why he's ugly is because of his own doing. But the fact they don't address that, they don't point out, oh, this is your own doing. You don't need to change it, or something like that. Something which is well, not everybody who's ugly is going to be unloved and such. But it's if you're ugly, you're going to be unloved. Nobody's going to love you. You're going to be alone, and you deserve to die. It's horrible. It's really horrible.
Doctor Who.
It's really, really horrible.
And then there's the stupid last. Well, no, it's funny how he falls in Timelash. That's just awful. And then the girl just stands there, and the Doctor literally has to grab her to bring her behind. He's like, "Get down! There's going to be an explosion," and the explosion's pathetic. I'd just like to add. But and then they go. They're about to go home, and it turns out that Herbert is H.G. Wells.
Oh, gosh. It's for one of the most influential, important person... Well, I'd say the most important person in science fiction in general. The one who popularised it all. The one that made it relevant. Firstly, did you need to make him such a freaking annoying character on purpose? And second off, saying the fact that because they have a lot of allusions to plots of his scattered throughout this episode, but I think it's kind of decrediting him, kind of undermining him to say, oh, he didn't think of those. He wasn't imaginative. He got it all from coming on this adventure. Nobody could be that imaginative or intelligent and such. And considering the fact that Doctor Who entirely, it takes a lot from H.C. Wells, and like none of this would even basically exist if it hadn't been for him. I think it's disrespectful. It's really disrespectful to make him so annoying and unlikable, and say then that his ideas weren't his ideas. Like, that's just really bad. That's just poor form. And like, another thing is that how does he get back to Earth?
They took him back in the TARDIS.
No, but he didn't want to.
Off screen, they did.
But he didn't.
He went, Herbert! He just shouted Herbert. And he was like, oh, I gotta go. And then that's it.
Yeah, but he wanted to stay, though.
Well,
like, he agreed to stay, and like,
yeah,
for
but
some
the doctor
reason...
was like, no, you can't. Yeah, it's basically, that's it. He came back to Earth. The doctor brought him back. That's it. It's awful.
Really... Yeah.
Yeah, he tells him to hurry up before showing Perry Herbert's calling card, which identifies him as the young man as Herbert George Wells. That's it. And then it cuts there. It cuts on the card.
Yeah.
And that is time shite. Oh, Lash. Sorry. Time Lash. So...
Oh, wait.
I guess 3 good points.
Actually, I'll just say one more thing.
Rolling up.
As I did briefly mention this, but actually, no, I can say this in the good. Never mind, I'll say it in the good.
Okay, yeah, 3 good points then, if you can think of 3.
Yeah, I can.
Just
Colin Baker's good in the story as a whole. Like, he's the only one who really seems to be trying throughout. I would say that at least the attempt to tie it back into like the Third Doctor and having like things off screen is kind of a good idea, and having hints of like having kind of context coming off screen has worked before. Like for example, it's School Reunion when you mentioned the Crullitanes, or and like. Or like when the Doctor mentions something like Rings of Akatem when he's been to this planet before.
Yeah.
It's like allusions to other stories are fine, but making the entire central plot around it is kind of an issue. Well, I'll get to that in a moment. And I say the other good thing is just the scene where the Doctor's frustrated at Herbert in the TARDIS, because like throughout the episode he's been obnoxious, and that just felt like a pretty decent payoff with the Doctor just shouting at him. It's just like, yes, thank you. Shout at him more, please.
45 more minutes. Add a third part to it.
It'd be better that way if it was just him
Just
shouting.
a monologue of Colin Baker shouting would have been better. Alright, my 3 good points. The Borad's prosthetics were pretty decent, actually, on the face. It moved quite well. It looked decent enough. It actually blended quite well. I'll give it that. Colin Baker as a whole, he tried his best. You can see he's trying his best, so, I'm not going to knock a guy where he's down. But, I usually defend Colin Baker stories, but no, this one, no. And then his final heroic act was pretty heroic. And, like, how he, shouts at Perry to get out. But then Herbert kind of ruins it. He shouts at Herbert, which is, okay and good as well. But that scene just goes on for too long. But the kind of the idea of Doctor doing that heroic act of, throwing himself and a TARDIS in between is pretty good. 3 bad points.
They don't actually explain how the Doctor got out of that. He just said, "I'll tell you later." And it's freaking frustrating.
But yeah,
I thought the TARDIS was indestructible, as he stated early in the episode. According to this,
exactly. So the 3 main bad points.
Guest actors not trying at all. I can say it's one of them because that is a consistent throughout the entirety of the episode. Herbert as a whole.
That's 3.
No, it's 2. Just this Herbert. And the plot, I guess, just the worst.
Yeah. All the guest actors suck. The set design and the directing sucks. And just the story sucks.
Everything.
That pretty much sums it up. It is awful. Characters are rubbish. The acting, there's no emotion put in. There's no arcs. Everyone stays exactly the same the entire way through. No one learns anything. No one gains anything. The Doctor's a bit mean in this one. The overall story at the end is you're ugly, you're not loved.
Yeah.
It's bad. It's bad TV. And yeah, it's just bad. So, nerdy. Do I really want to go much into this?
I mean, I guess we can. It might explain a few things at least. I know it was a very budgeted episode just because they had like several big stories around it. So it was like the one that had like the least amount of budget put into it. Of course, the story as a whole put several references to Wells' novels such as The Time Machine, War of the World, Invisible Man, and Joanne the Doctor Moreno.
The third Doctor and Joe visited Carfell before this story. A portrait of the third Doctor is seen, as is the photo of Joe in a locket.
The music of the story is provided by the person who had contributed special sounds for Blake 7. And the soundtrack to this is included in the 30 years of the Radiophonics Workshop. There you go.
Perry mentions the Daleks and the Doctor says it's a time corridor in space, and she asked, didn't the Daleks have one of those? Which is interesting because she never came across the Daleks. As of yet, I don't think. No.
It was subject to the Dalek story, wasn't it? Yeah.
That's interesting.
It was. Sorry, I didn't pay attention to which one. Which one did you say? Sorry.
Perry says, didn't the Daleks have one of those in this story?
Oh, maybe
they're
it's
saying a
from-
time corridor in
maybe it's from
space.
after. It was originally supposed to be a Dalek story too. It was rejected, but Eric Sword asked the author to resubmit it without them. But it was meant to be a Dalek.
What, Timelash?
Yeah. It was
Holy
submitted as a
crap.
Dalek story. Yeah.
Holy crap.
I don't know how that would have fit in.
It would have made it a lot better.
Maybe
Maybe
the
it would have changed the entire thing of it.
I doubt it. I think basically androids would have been replaced with Daleks, and Bullride would have been replaced with Davros, probably. It basically would have been the same, I think.
That's why he moved on the chair. Oh!
Probably. I mean, it doesn't say that here, but that's what I'm presuming is the case. In the original version of the script, it was the first Doctor, along with Ian, Barbara, and Susan, that visited Carfell.
That would have made more sense. I think.
And some things actually remained. Actually, that was a weird thing. I did actually pick up on this. I kind of forgot about it though. But the Tekka inquires the Doctor only having one companion with him in this one, which is included in the final script. And yet, he only had Joe Grant when he appeared before.
Yeah.
And the Doctor mentions like, "Oh, I'm a bit less crowded now." But that's a remnant of the fact that they originally had it as the first Doctor who visited. I don't know why they changed that though. No, it didn't make much difference either way. But
So, in a 2009 poll for the Mighty 200, because that's how many stories have been done at that point, because Planet of the Dead, I think, was number 200. This one landed second lowest spot, just above the Twin Dilemma, which is interesting, because I prefer Twin Dilemma to this one, I think. I don't know, I need to watch Twin Dilemma.
I haven't seen Twin Dilemma.
It's not great, but I don't know. It's yeah. I don't know.
Well, the guy who played Tekka exaggerated his performance of as a way of kind of relating against Colin Baker's similar portrayal. Retaliating against Colin Baker's similar portrayal of Babin the Butch in Blake 7, which the guy starred as Kerr Avon.
Interesting.
So they kind of basically switched roles here.
Yeah. No date was given for the scenes on Carfell. A history of the universe and a history of arbitrary place is in the year 802,701, the same year in which H.G. Wells' The Time Machine is set. So, yeah. They try to make it the same year as that. Oh, great. This story was broadcast in 4 25-minute episodes in the USA and in Australia and New Zealand.
That was the same with all the
Colin Baker ones.
Because I actually saw most of the two Doctors as actually I think it's a six-parter.
Yeah, it would be a six-parter because it's 3 parts.
Yeah. No.
Well, conclusion, Conrad. Conclude this pile of shite. Without just using that word.
That's my conclusion. Thank you very much. No, this story, man, it's just.
I've watched a lot of stories in my time. But this cowboy ain't seen those stories.
No. it's like there's so few redeeming factors to this. Like, it's just petty things. Like, in a lot of stories you can say, well, you know, everything's good except a few petty things are bad. It's the opposite case here. There are so many bad points. You can pick this episode utterly to pieces. There's so many terrible things. The pacing, the acting, the sets. You know, the music is, you know, not great. The monsters are terrible. The villains are bad. And ultimately ending in like not only a disrespect to one of the most important like writers in history, but also spreading a message of like to hate anybody who's ugly, basically. And it's like, did you not proofread this? Did nobody stop and say, I don't think this is a good idea? In fact, you know, with the mentioning earlier of that thing that they left in from the earlier draft of the first Doctor, I wouldn't be surprised if it was barely proofread. It's just, what? Who thought this was a good idea? Who really thought this was a good idea? Like, ugh. It's entirely justified in being placed amongst the worst in Doctor Who's history. Like, entirely justified. You know, we covered some pretty bad episodes before. Like, you know, an episode like Beast Below or Time Rani is bad, but even then, there's something to be got out of it. There's some enjoyment somewhere, even in Time and Rani, which is like a painful, torturous experience. And I can think of very few stories that are worse than this. Maybe one, but we'll be saving that one for much later. But out of the ones I've seen, I guess. It's truly awful. Like, do yourself a favour, and if you haven't seen this, don't.
I know it might be worth seeing though.
If you're not intending to buy them all, don't bother.
No, yeah,
this
way.
is a very, very, very low priority like thing.
Just get it to complete the collection. Basically,
yeah. Well, if you're planning to complete a collection. If you're looking for something entertainingly bad, this isn't even one of those. Like, don't even. It's just a black mark on Doctor Who's history. It really is. It's just. Yeah. Like, with stories like that, you can possibly see why it was cancelled when it was.
Yeah.
It can actually
die.
Yeah, it really can. So, actually, do we officially have a 0 out of 10?
Yeah.
Wasn't that what I rated Beast?
No, I think you made Time and Rani a -1, which rounds up to 0.
Well, this is even lower than that. This is like -5, I'd say.
Okay, because I didn't mess up the grading system.
but no, this is if we're putting Time and Rani as 0, this is very firmly a 0 too. And I'd say it's like on the very low end of 0.
Like if you were making it points, like Time and Rani is like 0.5, this is like 0.00.
Yeah.
Maybe a 0.1 for Colin.
Possibly.
Okay, yeah. My conclusion. What the fuck was that? Oh my fucking god. That was fucking bad, okay? I'm not even muted myself, like, fuck that story. Where do I even fucking start? Well, first of all, the story could fit into a fucking 25 fucking minute episode, okay? It really could be slashed right fucking down. Season the TARDIS and the Vortex go on for about triple the length that they should. The sets are boring. The costumes are boring. They're acted by the extras minus Herbert. Is pretty awful. Herbert at least puts a bit of energy into it, but God, Herbert is I know, I hate like him, kind of a weird thing. I like him more than Adric, which is saying something.
No.
I think if he'd appear more often though, he literally was Adric, I'm pretty sure.
At least Adric didn't get in the way as much. He was obnoxious, Herbert.
I know. But yeah, Colin does his best with a bad script, and you can see he is giving his all. Poor Nicola Bryant spent half of this screaming, and I feel sorry for her. Like, how the fuck did this get commissioned? Every story of the missing season is better than this, and they weren't even made. The Nightmare Fair was better. The one which they were going to set in Singapore was better. The Mission of Magnus was better. Everything was better in that. Just their ideas were better. Just the ideas of them were better. I usually defend Colin Baker and his era, but not this story. The few positives really don't fix anything. Fuck this story and how boring it is. At least Underworld had some horribly funny and awful moments, but this was just so little. I give Timelash a 0 out of 10. It should be deleted from history. Like, straight up, like, fuck this story. Fuck it.
Well, you know, with every show, you gotta take the good with the bad. Like, you know.
Nothing should hit 0 out of 10 bad.
True.
Oh, Colin. You're not so bad. But your stories are pretty not rad. So
I haven't even got to my least favourite yet.
That's
gonna be a thing.
I'm not sure which one that is, but tell me after. Tell me after the podcast. Anyway, so yeah. Funny enough, I actually bought you Timelash as a gift.
Yeah.
That's how much I hate you, Conrad. I bought it so you didn't feel that you wasted money on something. I saved you.
Yeah, you can put it on that way, I guess.
I've bought this twice now. Once for you, once for me. No. Thank God. Or maybe no, I think this one was bought for me. Yes! I only wasted money on it once. And that was for you. What a gift. I don't got that much. I got him the special limited edition Key to Time box set. It's all good.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, boy. But yeah, so I made up for it. Plus, it wasn't even your birthday. I just got it randomly because we're going to podcast it.
Spontaneously, yeah.
Well, I was just in HMV. I was like, we're podcasting it. Yeah, it was like, well, I think it was only like $4.99 because it's such a bad story. So I was like, I'll get it. But yeah, so tell us what you think of this shite pile below. If you give it anything above a 0, you're wrong. Just saying. So thank you very much for listening to us complain and and cry and shout and swear about this pile of trash. We will see you next week for hopefully a much better story. We'll see you next time.
Unless we die.
Unless we die after this.
Yeah.
Boy.